Welcome to the show. Yes, UAP Truth 33. Don sees Truth 33. I'm Don. I'm your host. I have a hell of a show for you today. We've got some footage for you, some mind blowing footage. I think you're really going to like it. Without further ado, let's get into that shit. Mothership, huh? Let's see this. Oh, that's pretty big, man.
I can't get it, but these are huge lights.
Dude, that's big. Look at that.
Wow, I don't know what that
See it over top of those buildings? So it's like the size of one of those buildings, right? Isn't that what it looks like? Pretty good catch there, huh?
The American people are ready
Hell
to
yeah.
receive the truth.
Hell yeah.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Non-human intelligence exists. UAPs are real. They're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years as a senior official with the CIA.
I worked on highly classified UAP programs.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
A one-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this, I feel like they've taken their life in their own hands.
I was recruited to a highly sensitive government program that investigated unidentified aerial phenomenon.
For over 16 years, on behalf of the U.S. government, I worked as a senior intelligence official on the unidentified aerial phenomenon topic.
We learned that the U.S. government was involved in a long-running secret war with other nations to collect and reverse engineer vehicles not made by humans.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
Look at that thing. It's rotating. There's a whole fleet of them.
The first country that cracks the code on this technology will be the leader for years to come.
China has established its own version of a UAP task force.
You think for a second that they wouldn't consider using it to achieve their ends of domination?
This is similar to the Manhattan Project. This is the atomic weapon on steroids.
This is so secret, very, very few people in our entire government have been allowed access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis. But that begins to ramp out of control.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees.
You better be careful about a government that doesn't trust its people, because there's no telling what they'll pull on you.
Yes.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
Yes.
You had information being locked away that could change the trajectory for species.
It has so many beneficial impacts, including clean energy.
We should have disclosure today. We should have disclosure tomorrow. The time has come.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
States has been secretly working to capture UFOs and aliens for nearly 80 years.
Will be experienced by all humans together, but because starseeds are already incarnated from races from higher densities and dimensions, ascension is primarily for the benefit of Earth native souls. Reincarnation on Earth will end completely at the shift, and native soul humans will no longer experience sickness or physical death ever again. There are more starseeds incarnated now than ever before, because souls have visited Earth throughout the centuries, as well as new visitors are coming in to experience the shift from the human perspective. Following the shift, starseeds will live in Sheen for as long as they like. Many will continue to assist Earth as ambassadors or teachers. Some will explore space with Galactic Federation as new junior members. All humans will become reacquainted with all the souls who were family in past lives.
Wow.
The shift will be experienced by all humans.
Here we go. Dude, that's pretty big. Look at the size of that. Wow, man, look at that. That's freaking huge, dude. I don't know why I keep saying that. I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, freaking huge. What is this? What is that, man? That thing is gigantic.
Involve creatures that are about 3 feet tall, that breathe our air,
Hairless?
recognize our signals, communicate with us in funny ways, even mentally. I mean, the witnesses describe getting images in their minds and so on, in all 3 cases. And what's interesting is, people can argue about Trinity all they want, like they argue about Roswell, but the case in Socorro and the case in France, in Valiant Thor, were investigated by governments, not by the local UFO group, although the local UFO group did a good job in all those cases. But they were, in Socorro, it was first the local police, the local policemen saw the craft and the beings and described what happened. He was terrified, but when the thing took off, he thought it was something to do with some new gadget or some work in the desert. It's an area that's still in the same state today. I've gone back there with Dr. Hynek's son, with Paul Hynek a few months ago. I've gone several times there. And so after the police, turned out the FBI was in town on another case. They had no jurisdiction in New Mexico for that particular case. It wasn't a federal case, but they helped preserve the traces, the FBI way. And the local police was happy to have them there. And then there was the state police came in and did an investigation, and then people from the base, came in with experts in explosives, experts in recovery of weapons and rockets and so on, because they thought it might be something that had come from, from the Trinity range, that was out of its way and had crashed near Socorro, in which case they might have responsibility, including financial responsibility if something was destroyed or whatever. So this was very serious. I have the whole file. Okay, it's a big file.
Right.
Nobody's looking at it. I mean, the investigation in Washington now, they are saying, we're going to look at the cases of the last 12 months. Well, what kind of science is that? Right. Can you imagine scientists reading this? And this is the way they are going to solve the UFO problem, by looking at vague pictures of lights in the sky for 1 year? Why don't they go back to those records? Those are federal records.
Right.
Okay, y'all look. Y'all see that dust line, right? The damn thing done went away. Like, I'm gonna get out of that light so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, but y'all see that, right? I'm not playing when I tell y'all that was just a fucking UFO.
57 Valiant Thor landed. Landed in Virginia. That's a real story. He landed in 57. He did, in fact, get taken to the Pentagon by a sheriff's department. Very reckless. Very reckless. If it would have happened today, everybody would know. Everybody would have saw it. But they knew that back then they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have all that. They didn't have a bunch of surveillance cameras. They could do what he did. So he did. And they took it to the Pentagon. And I also know that there was a psyche eval done. And that's what a lot of people, I don't think anybody's ever known that. There was a psyche eval done. And they wanted to know, was this fucking guy crazy? Because he said he was an alien. Take me to the Pentagon. So they took him. But they said they took him under guard with a psych evaluation. And the psych evaluation came back inconclusive. They couldn't get the instrument to work. Whatever they were using, I don't know what it was. Whatever they used back then. But they said it was inconclusive. They couldn't get the instrument to work. I remember that. So they decided to hear him out. And then after 36 hours, people think they just went straight to the White House. They did. It was between 35 and 40, but I'm just say 36 hours of interrogation, straight interrogation. They were convinced, and they said, we need to take this guy to Eisenhower. But really what they were doing was taking that guy to MJ-12. And Nixon was there. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Nixon's been there since Roswell. He's been involved in all of this. A lot of people don't know that. So they took him to the White House in 1957, and he offered a deal. He said, listen, you can bring your entire civilization into the Galactic Federation of Light, and we will bring you in, and we will travel the galaxy with you. We will give you all this technology. We'll improve the technology you're currently working on with other species and civilizations. We know about it. But you have to do two things. One, you have to give up your nuclear weapons. Two, you have to be one government. Because one of the requirements for the thousands of civilizations that's already in the GFL is you have to reach a maturity level as a society socially. And what that is you have to put borders and petty differences to these guys. Otherwise, you're not mature enough to be part of it. So they said, or he said, you have to put down those borders. You have to become a one world government. And that is where all. So we told him, listen, we already have a contract with a civilization, and it's a 70-year contract. And if we break that, there's going to be problems. And we know there's going to be problems. We can't break it. We just can't. But what about when it runs out? And they spent 3 years negotiating. 3 years.
Wow.
Till 1960 when he left. And that 70-year contract was struck in 1954 with E.T.s from the Rigel star system, type A, B, C, and D. There's 4 different types of grades from the Rigel star system. And that was 2,200 American citizens per year in exchange for technology. And the fucked up thing is, we ended up getting very close with E.T.s without an abduction contract, and they're even more advanced. And they gave us all the gifts from technology, Bluetooth, flat screen, touch screen, all that came from that. Even text messaging came from reverse engineering their interstellar communications device, where you got to hit the same key over and over to circulate through the letters. That's where we had text messaging back in the late 90s on the little flip phones. That's where it came from. And all that we never had to do. But by then,
wow,
we as an MJ-12 decided, and through the Magi Committee decided, it would be a good idea to bring other species in and continue to cherry pick the best technologies from all these civilizations, from all these star sets, in exchange for United States citizens, and then through the UN, citizens around the globe. It came over 22,500 citizens out of the United States every single year as of 2012.
Wow.
And that had been that already for a while. And worldwide, we're talking millions. A lot of people that go missing is part of that. 57 Valiant Thor landing.
What do you guys think of that? Now, listen, this guy, he's supposedly a whistleblower named Charles McNeil. And I saw this Valiant Thor story before. Apparently, listen, look, Robert Dean said these E.T.s look exactly like us. You could be walking down the street, one walk right past you, wouldn't even know it. Didn't that a story? Yeah, and I heard the thing about so I think it was Eisenhower, one of them, made a deal with these bad, terrible creatures. You're allowed to take us. Do cattle mutilation in this agreement in exchange for technology. What do you guys think? Let me know. Oh, this is my man right here.
Can you show us a little something? We'd love to see you tonight. I know you're probably up there, just in the clouds. That's usually what happens on cloudy nights, but if we could see one of you, or two of you, don't want to be greedy.
That easy,
that'd be
folks.
really cool. That would be really cool. Nothing but peace and love. And that's to all of you, too. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It's been a long week, man.
I love this guy.
Where are you broadcasting from? This is Northern Virginia, underneath Salt Lake, 20 minutes. Oh, wow. Boom. Boom. Oh, tell me that's not on the radar. I'll flip the fuck out. It's not. Asked and answered. Oh, fuck yeah. Right to left. Hey, guys. Hell yeah, dude. And there it is. That's so cool. Yeah, it's in Reston. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. Oh, hell yeah. I knew you were up there. I knew it.
What do you guys think about that? Look, I mean, C5 things are real. You can go out, put yourself in the right state of mind, meditate, and you get into this vibration of humility and love and gratitude, and you request, and they'll show up. But this thing looks like a plane, man. Look at it. What is that? Dude, we're usually the ones shining lasers at them. Now they're shining them back.
It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before.
Everything started out normally. He seemed upset and started pointing toward Rendlesham Forest.
We just looked at each other for a minute and looked back up at the sky.
There was no sound at all.
Multiple witnesses, military personnel.
My emotions were all over the place. Scared to in awe.
Wow.
Most science documentaries look at an encounter with extraterrestrial civilization from our point of view. But let's turn it upside down.
Simply the hypothesis that we live in a computer simulation.
The question comes up, who created the simulation?
It was observing us. It was communicating. My questions are, where'd it come from?
Could they maybe be us in the future?
We cannot assume that they're just 100 years more advanced than us.
If aliens are intelligent, they're also curious.
Here we are, we come in peace.
The front page of the New York Times was a big deal.
I don't know whether there are other countries that would like to get their hands on this.
What are the next steps that NASA is going to do? What are the next steps that the community is going to do?
This is stuff that belongs to humanity.
What do you guys think? Pretty wild show, right? Yeah, man. I've thought of that. I've thought of that a lot. How do they view us? And man, I can't think that they view us very positively. And I say that because you just look at how we just kind of the things that we do as a species, not individually, because there's a lot of wonderful, wonderful people out there, beautiful people. I believe that. There's a lot of love, there's a lot of humility, there's a lot of just goodness in the world, generosity. There really is. But at the same token, there's a flip side to that. This is a dualistic world. There's good and there's bad. I think we're overpopulating the planet. I think we're wearing the planet out. I think we're abusing the planet. And not only that, but we do it to each other on a grand scale, countries against countries, massive conflict. And I think the aliens, E.T.s, the higher beings, the good ones, they probably look at us like, man, they have so much potential, but yet they're still doing these awful things. I think this is a talk that we need to have as a world population. You know, these borders and petty disputes and these power grabs and these. We need to grow up as a society, the whole world together. You know, maybe I'm dreaming, but that's my wish. You know, when my children are grown up, that's how I wish the planet to be. That's my show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, share it to a friend. Come back tomorrow. I post videos every day. Love you guys. And I have some really loyal followers who are watching me every day, and I really appreciate it. Without you, I don't think I would be doing this. Please visit my Patreon. There's a lot of free content there you can enjoy. If you want to buy me a cup of coffee, feel free. You can give me $3, whatever, or nothing. I just like doing this, man. I have a lot of fun with you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.